Hi T-Nation, Tom Morrison here, and today I want to give you a concept that I think that every lifter should adopt and put into their day because it's going to help you to auto-regulate yourself better, it's going to give you more body awareness, and it's going to stop you from running into all the niggles and aches and pains that a lot of lifters can run into. So the very first thing that you want to do, just as soon as you get up in the morning, is to just start from the head and work your way down to the toe. It doesn't need to be fancy, you don't need to be going for 20 or 30 minutes, just 5 minutes will be enough. The compound effect of this every day will be what makes the difference for you. So start off with the head and just move your neck through all the ranges of motion that it can move through. So take your head left and right first of all, and then up and down, and then side to side. And just see what that feels like. There's little variations that you can do as well. You could add leaning over to the side and going up and down, which is quite nice. Going left and right, and do that on both sides. And if any of those movements feel funky to you, you just spend a little bit more time on it, and that'll change day to day as well. Next, you want to go down, and you want to think about your thoracic spine. If you're clumped up like this, the shoulders like this, your shoulder training isn't going to be very good. So do something every day that opens up your upper back, and it can be just as simple as doing some kind of thoracic rotation movements. So you can draw your elbows back as much as you can, rotate to one side as much as you can, try and wring yourself out like a wet towel, make your hip go that way, your chest goes this way, you breathe in, as you breathe out, you rotate yourself a bit further and do that on the other side. So what that effectively does is opens up your upper back one side at a time, which will give you better thoracic extension, which will help your shoulders to rest in a better position. After that, do some kind of rotational movement for your shoulders, okay? So a lot of people miss this as well. Simply just making big controlled circles with the shoulders, making sure your neck's nice and relaxed as you do it as well, and do that in both directions. So forwards and backwards, and just do that for a few sets. So it doesn't need to be overly fancy. You're just seeing how everything feels. And if everything feels a bit clunky when you're doing this, it'll change over time. It'll feel smoother and you'll feel a lot better too. Your recovery will be a lot better as well. Next, just bring it down to the core. You're going to lean over to the side as much as you can. You can add the arm in as well. Just make sure that you're stretching your sides because it's a very, very common one for people to miss, and it can cause all kind of weird things with the hips as well. So stretch your sides. Then down to the hips, do something that gives you better flexion and better extension, okay? So lunge is a really good one for that. You're just looking to get down as deep as you can on the front leg, and the back leg extend as much as you can. So you're getting good extension on the back leg, and the front leg flexion. And just move around. You can have your hands on the floor as you do this. You can use something to elevate yourself up. You can put your leg up on the stairs. You can do any kind of things just as long as you got flexion on one side and extension on the other side, and then swap sides. So always do both sides. Then after that, do some kind of rotational movement for your hips as well. So you can hold on to something and just move your hips and rotate them in all different positions. You can do the dad dance, it's up to yourself. Just make sure you're rotating your hips in some kind of way. Sitting down on the floor is a really, really good way to do that as well. Just make sure that you're doing some kind of rotational movement for your hips. Shoulders and hips, love rotational movements. And then finish up your session with a bit of balance. So this is a bit of a step here. I just stand on and I just try to make myself balance. This is another thing that a lot of lifters miss. They don't add enough randomized balance into their training, and that's how they can start to feel really, really rigid because they're always lifting heavy all the time and bracing hard and doing all that stuff, and they're not doing any of the flip side of that, which is just working on balance for extended periods of time. Try and do this for a minute on each leg, and then do a minute with both legs together on something ideally like a step that you have to focus on balancing on. So, pretty much not too many people are going to struggle too much with just being on one leg, but if you really find that really hard, then that's just where you start. Start with the foot on the ground. So that's how you can start to build a morning routine. You can choose the exercises whatever you like, just as long as you're meeting the principles of move your neck, open up your upper back, rotate your shoulders, stretch your sides, make sure you do good flexion and extension for your hips, make sure you rotate your hips and work on your balance. You do all them regularly and your training is going to go a lot better, your recovery is going to improve, and you're going to be more connected with your body, and you're just going to feel awesome. So give it a go and let us know what you think.